Welcome back to Pod Games, and we're doing a June recap video. June was a curveball of a month, so it was meant to be the month that we caught up on our backlog, pivoted to the most recent products, but the universe had other plans. Marvel Superheroes was the set that I was banking on, and it was set to release on the 26th of June. But as the time of this recording, which is the 22nd of July, I'm still waiting for the product. There's been distribution delays with the vendor that I purchased from, so we are kind of still waiting for our product to get delivered to us. But we'll kind of get deeper dive into that and what the ramifications of that is. So in today's recap video, we will talk about how June played out. We will look at the sales and see what we kind of did from a sales point of view. We'll kind of look at how the content strategy has evolved, and then something new that I've been working on, which you've been seeing sprinklings in the short form content with the new Booster Chase series, but I'm going to kind of expand on that and the rationale behind it and what's coming next. So let's get into it. Let's break down the sales. First issue that we've kind of encountered, and it's going to impact any future sales that we do. Because our Marvel Superhero set has been delayed, it meant that towards the back end of June, we missed out on any potential sales from that product. What that means is, from a value point of view, you lose money, because when the set first comes out, that is at the peak pricing of all the singles. So because there aren't that many of them out in the world yet, when people are buying their single product, they're buying it at a slightly higher price than waiting. Now that it's going to be more than a month for me receiving my product, the pricing has now stabilized, which means I'm going to be earning less for those singles. The high value cards are always going to be worth their money, but once again, you've got to pull one of those. The bulk that you tend to collect, or those lower end rares, are now going to drop in value because it's now been quite some time since the set has been released. But diving into how we actually did in June. So we only managed to make sales across 3 platforms: CardTrader, CardMarket, and eBay. How do we do on each of those? We sold 330 singles on CardTrader, 253 on CardMarket, only 2 on eBay, but you'll kind of understand the value disparity here, because at this point we shifted our strategy to put all of our expensive cards on eBay to maximize the value. We earned 46.68 on CardTrader from 330, not bad, could have done better. We earned 145.46 from CardMarket, so that's actually pretty good going. So we've actually sold less, more, which is pretty good. And then we get £56.54 on eBay from 2 cards. So actually that's a very good card to value ratio there. It kind of proves that the strategy works, that we can get rid of a bunch of our low-end cards and our bulk off the other 2 platforms, because it's got a high base, and then we can kind of pinpoint our higher value cards on eBay. So the total revenue that we earned from June is 248.68, which is pretty good going, considering. And once again, so we haven't uploaded everything to eBay. So the interesting part of this is that the majority of the sales, once again, were bulk sales, so it's everything which was worth £1 or less, apart from the 2 eBay cards, which were obviously by high value cards that we had. What this kind of means is it reinforces that the strategy is the correct one that we're doing, so we can earn quite a lot by managing all of the bulk through the higher foot traffic channels, and then pinpointing our value in our single marketplace, and then navigating people to that. Right, let's dive into the content strategy update. In the previous video, if you remember, I was kind of in a bit of a dilemma of, do I start catching up with my backlog, or do I kind of focus on the most relevant products that are prevalent in the community and try and get content around those? I leant towards doing the most relevant product, because it kind of keeps me relevant, hopefully increases the foot traffic to the channel. But unfortunately, things are kind of out of my hands. And because I didn't get the product in time, I didn't get the newest set in time, it kind of has now pushed me towards the other avenue of, let's now clear out the backlog and let's catch up as best as we can. The reason why I've kind of had this backlog, because we made the strategy change pretty late on into the Magic season. I wanted to release everything from Lorwyn and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but those sets had already been out for a couple of months. So trying to catch all that up while still new sets are coming out. So at the time of this video, we've had Strixhaven, which I've got a bunch of videos to make for that. And then now we've got Marvel Superheroes. Whenever I receive the product, that's when that's coming. And then in a few weeks' time, there is another set coming out. Yes, it's a smaller set, but it's the Hobbits coming out. So the aim is, through that smaller set period, I can try and ramp up and get all the content out. How am I going to do this? So to achieve this, I'm going to look at how I'm editing the video. So I kind of took a hard look at myself, and I did this with the most recent deck tech, where I kind of looked at what I was kind of producing and actually thought, so what? What's the purpose? What is this piece of content in the video actually bringing the value? Is it worth it? Do I need to change it? So I kind of revamped the last video and then added a little bit of a flavor to it, and like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles flavor and like colorway to it, just to make it diversify it a little bit. But I focused it on, let's optimize our video, how we're editing the videos, and then what content we are doing. So I condensed down a bunch of the panels. So instead of having different screens for every little bit, I kind of condensed the deck overview. The strategy went to 2 screens instead of like 3 or 4 that it was before. The same with the upgrades. That was 2 separate screens that I would be animating. I've now condensed it into one. You still get all the content there. You still can see everything clearly, and just made it a little bit clearer. And now going forward, because I've set them up as new templates, it's going to make it a little bit easier to start editing videos. I'm now taking the same process to the unpack videos, where I'm now thinking, actually, am I editing this in the most efficient way? Am I just wasting time trying to over-engineer something that doesn't need to be done? So I'm kind of going forward from now and any future videos, I'm looking to kind of streamline that and still keep the quality, but try and be as efficient as I possibly can to kind of catch up on this backlog. But as always, your feedback's always welcome. If there's anything that you kind of like and you want me to keep doing in the videos, please let me know. Please drop some comments down below. If there's anything that you could kind of suggest that I could be doing better, I'm always open to feedback and ideas. So please let me know and drop me a comment below. Right, now that we've talked about all the boring stuff, the finances, the challenges that we've kind of encountered, let's talk something fun. And for those that have been eagle-eyed and seen what we did in June, we launched a new series for our short form content called Booster Chase. The premise behind Booster Chase was I wanted to try and solely build a commander deck based on sealed product and booster pack. So whatever we open, see if we can find the cards that we want and put them into a commander deck. The commander deck that we chose and we started with is an Azorius commander called Arbiter Augustin IV, which I kind of pulled that card from a previous series when I was opening some Double Masters 2022. Wanted to build a commander deck around it. What this means, Booster Chase is actually a mini challenge within a wider challenge that I want to do. There's something called Deck32 that I've been striving to achieve for quite a few years now, where I would like to build 32 individual, unique, competitive commander decks. I'm going to say competitive to my play group, so it's going to hit around that bracket 3, higher end bracket 3 mark. I want to build a commander deck for every single color combination in the Magic the Gathering pie. I'll have 32 decks, potentially a little bit more, but yeah, that's the idea, that's the premise, and I want each deck to have their own unique feel and identity. So I'm going to try and avoid decks doing similar things, which is going to be quite difficult because from monocolors to dual colors, you can be doing very similar things, but with the support of another color. But the aim is to do that. Now, how have we progressed doing it with the Grand Arbiter deck? So we hit 32% of the deck. It's been quite a bit of a challenge and a tad frustrating trying to find the other cards, but this is part of the fun of it. It wouldn't be a challenge if it would be easy to find every card that we want to pull. So you'll see on the screen that these are all the commander decks that I've currently got. There are a couple things to note. Yes, the Wooburger's got 3 commander decks in, but they're 3 5-color decks that I've had for years. So technically, I'm counting them as 1 to achieve the challenge of I have to do all of those. But there are a couple which are NA at the moment. So the reason why they're NA is because I haven't got a deck in mind for that color combination. So that is a work in progress. If there's any suggestions that you kind of think would be cool, take a look at the ones on the screen and give me some suggestions. I tried to think of unique ideas. And the other reason why I've left it NA is because I don't want to have a concrete plan for every single deck right now with new sets coming out. And I'll take the Marvel one. So I've done a little bit of digging. For one of the 4-color commanders, I'm taking a card out of the commander deck to build around it. So I wouldn't have known that card existed until that commander deck came into existence. This is going to be a thing that we're going to be evolving over the rest of this year and potentially into next year. So it's going to be an ongoing kind of series, and I'll keep you updated. I'll be looking to do some deck tech episodes on some of the completed decks, and then doing it slightly different from the pre-con reviews. But yeah, these are the decks I've built, why I've built it, how it operates, what upgrades I could put into the deck, and then I'm going to add a new thing called Roast My Deck. Part of the deck check tool, you can get your deck roasted by the AI. So I'll be getting that and see how my deck actually performs. Something else I want to do is, which I haven't kind of 100% confirmed this idea, doing a separate video on Deck32 around the challenge and the premise and the reason why I wanted to do it. My ideas for how I want things to be unique. Like I said, haven't 100% concreted that idea yet. If it is something you want to see, please drop a comment down below, D32 into the comments. If this is something that you want, then I'll kind of go full steam ahead and start releasing that video as well. So looking ahead, July and August is all about kind of like catching back up on my backlog, finally getting the Marvel superhero stuff and getting some content out there, deeper diving into Booster Chase and Deck32, and then continue to streamline my video workflows, making sure that I'm optimizing where I can. One of the entertaining things about this whole experience is that I'm actually learning new things about video editing that I didn't know before. I keep getting suggested videos through the algorithm to how I could improve and giving me ideas, and you kind of go off on little tangents. So it's trying to stay focused, but then letting some of the new creative stuff in to make things fun and it's interesting, and we're always trying something new in all the videos that we're trying to do. June wasn't the month that we kind of expected it to be. It became a little bit more of a setup month than we were hoping for, but we are where we are. So let's kind of keep plodding along and carrying on. All right, well, that's a wrap for this recap video. Thanks for sticking with me this far. If you want to support the channel or Pod Games, there's two ways you could do it. Jump in the links below in the description and purchase anything from marketplaces. Anything that we kind of earn from that helps keep funding the channel and keeps us moving forward. And please like, comment and subscribe, interact with the algorithm, try and get more people towards the channel, get more visibility. It's always appreciated and it's always a big help. I appreciate everyone who's joined the journey so far. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.